President-elect of UCU UK-wide is here for a brief flying visit. So let's give her a huge cheer.
Am I using the microphone correctly? Let me just check that first. Wow, so I've been running this morning around Leeds picket lines, which has been incredible. So thank you for not only welcoming me back, but also helping keeping me fit, because I've been spending a hell of a lot of time in negotiation meetings and on trains to negotiation meetings and on trains to other picket lines as well. But do you know what? It is always amazing to be back home at Leeds. And the first thing I want to do is to just ask you guys to think about what we're doing. This is a game-changing, incredibly important set of disputes that is really laying down a marker for the way that we defend our sector and we stand up for education. So I want you to start by looking around you, looking at each other and understanding that this is solidarity, that we are the university, and give yourselves a massive cheer, scream, stamp your feet, clap. We've had quite a lot of negotiation meetings, and you'll have seen tweets and you'll have seen emails coming out about them. And what I want you to be absolutely certain of is that those negotiation meetings that we're having with Universities UK on pensions and with UCU on the 4 fights are having a lot of effect. We are in the negotiations with UCU for the first time ever, talking about casualisation, workload and inequality-driven pay gaps, stuff that they would never agree to talk to us about in the negotiating room before. What we are doing together has brought those issues in, and we are into a language of expectation rather than simply recommendation. And that might not sound like a big deal, but it really, really is. And what we're pushing on at the moment is tightening that up. We want a little bit more from them. And we're starting to see a shift. We're starting to see Vice-Chancellors, not necessarily our Vice-Chancellor, we need to keep working on that one, but we are starting to see Vice-Chancellors talking to us, very interested in talking about things like casualisation. They're a little bit less interested in talking about workload, and I think there might be a reason for that. It might be that it sort of relies on us doing lots of unpaid work to keep the university going, and I think we really need to push that and push the health effects of that. And the leaflets that you've been handing out today really drive that home. But I have been having conversations with Vice-Chancellors on picket lines. It's been quite interesting where they've bothered to come down to the picket line. And a particularly interesting conversation I had last week with University of East London Vice-Chancellor. Came down to the picket line, handing copies out to everyone. Some other Vice-Chancellors could learn some things, I think. And she said, well, what's the sticking point? I'm going to wait for this to go past. She said, well, what's going on? Because she had this idea that the offer that UCU put on the table was a good offer. And I was like, well, have you read it? Have you read that there is no overarching expectation of it being implemented in any way? She said, oh, well, we need a framework, don't we? We need some review points, and we need a sort of framework to monitor how well universities are implementing it. I said, how funny, how interesting that you say that. I mentioned that about 3 meetings ago, and I was told I was crazy. So we are seeing Vice-Chancellors starting to wake up and realise that they cannot keep their head buried in the sand about the issues that are affecting us in universities, because we are keeping these places running. We are holding up universities for our students and for each other, and we have not seen a real term pay rise for an incredibly long time, while our senior leaders seem to be multiplying and developing even higher salaries. So we are in the right, and we really are doing something very special and very important at the moment, and we're being looked at not only by other unions, and it is very important that we support other unions in getting the vote out for their fights as well, and that we fight and we support them in their struggles. We're being looked at internationally as well. I did an interview last week with a newspaper from Cyprus. We're very, very interested in what we're doing because they're having the same problems where they are. having interest from newspapers all over the world. You may have seen the strikes in the US, the strikes by graduate students fighting for basic decency. And that brings us back to what we're here for. We're fighting for basic decency. It's not asking for the moon on a stick, it is asking for fair terms and conditions, fair and equal pay, and fair pensions. Because what we need to remember as well is that what is affecting both, what is tying both disputes together, I think, is the most vulnerable of all of us. Those of us who are on insecure contracts, those among us who are on the lower pay, are hit hardest by all of the issues that are underpinning both of these disputes. Because if you are casualised and if you are low paid, you probably are not in the USS pension, or you are considering dropping out of it because you cannot afford to pay your rent. For example, if you have months over the summer when you are not paid. If you are on an insecure contract, you are feeling it every moment of every day, and it's why we're so grateful and so delighted to have support from our sister unions. It really helps with our hardship funds, and it really is. I just want to echo what Ben said. You should think of it not as a hardship fund, you should think of it as a solidarity fund. It is about making sure we are all able to fight this fight together. So I'm going to say a little bit about negotiations now. I'm feeling, by the way, a little bit weird because I've done a run and I've eaten a cold bacon sandwich, and it's interesting. We negotiated 3 times last week, and we had further meetings as well around the valuation methodology for USS. Today we've got negotiators in talking about the valuation methodology, and we know that there's going to be a paper produced and employers consulted on their opinions on the approach to valuation and how that might work. And we are concerned at the moment, we're on a knife edge. Where things are different this time is that our action has really been focusing our employers on talking with us about the valuation and how valuation and problems with governance at USS. And let's not forget that Academics for Pensions Justice, again something that we did together because we crowdfunded it, found that there is in fact grounds that potentially we could take USS to court over. So the problems are very real, we're not imagining them. So we're making more progress on the longer, sort of underpinning stuff around USS, and we're in those talks, and it's going to be a crunch point. We're going to see what our employers are going to do. Do they mean it? Do they mean it when they say that they're listening? And at the moment we're not sure, and it's why it is vital that we're out here making a noise every day of the strike. Now when it comes to UCU as well, the same thing, they're moving. Are they moving enough? No. They need to move more because we cannot carry on the way that we are going in this sector. We just can't. I am talking to people who are ill. I am talking to people who are made unwell by their jobs all the time. We are visiting people who are having casework in medical facilities sometimes. It is that bad. And we have been having such incredible support from our students who are understanding that the conditions that we work under are also their learning conditions, and that's so important. Now, I'm going to stop talking soon. I'm feeling a little bit like I'd like to give this microphone to somebody else who's less tired. But what I want to just remind you of is I think there is a party tonight that I've heard tell it starts at 11 p.m, which might be after some of our bedtimes, but it's at Wharf Chambers, and is it a shindig? Is that what it's called?
It's free to UCU members.
Okay, so there's a free party at Wharf Chambers, and it starts at 11 p.m, and it's a fundraiser for basically us lot, so it's free for UCU to get in, and students have just put this on themselves, and I think that's incredible. So have some coffees and go to this party because I think it'd just be incredible. But yeah, so this is not the best speech I've ever given in my life, I have to say, but what I'm seeing in front of me and what I'm feeling from you guys is the support that we're going to take into negotiations, because tomorrow we're negotiating with UCU, and I'm firming up the time at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that on Wednesday we're negotiating with UUK. So that's 2 more negotiations. You need to keep being loud, keep tweeting, keep shouting, keep making a fuss. Write the letters to the Vice Chancellor, there's a tool on the website. Do everything what you can to bring your colleagues out with you tomorrow and the next day and the next. I really hope we don't have to go into next week, but if we do, we damn well will do, and we'll do it loud and we'll do it proud. We're in the right, we're doing the right thing. Stand firm, hold the line, grow the line.